welcome to the Rise Up with Dragon podcast with your host, Dragon.
Just curious what you guys think of that intro, because usually that's how we do this, and we're working on so many new episodes and stuff, launching that in a different place. But I'm curious what you guys think of my Rise Up with Dragon intro. And have you ever thought about having an intro for yourself? So great morning, everyone. I'm happy to say that I can see myself that I look different. You know, I love the loud voice of results in life. You know, so excited about this morning. So many different distinctions and things going on with myself. You know, I'm constantly having discussions with myself, and there's so many things going on, and I'm also having personal discussions with my family, but also all my clients and the coaches that I mentor and stuff, which creates this just huge array of just conversations. And what's interesting is they all have a lot of similarities, and that's kind of what I'm going to share today with the Rise Up. It's where my headspace is. But just as a reality check, what's up, Lisa? Lisa knows, she's all in. You know, I've been doing this thing. I think today's my 24th day. I have a perfect streak going for 24 days. You know, I think I've probably shed the weight that I want to shed. So I'm about 15 pounds, got rid of it. And what's interesting now is, you know, because my streak, I'm going all the way through the holidays. And the main reason I've decided to do that, just as a side note, it's funny because I've been talking to a lot of people about addictive behavior, and very often addictive behavior is associated with doing things that screw you up and send you back. You know, eating the wrong foods, drinking, smoking, all of those types of things, and just being lazy in general is an addiction. Food's a big one. But what we've all been identifying is that, you know, it's okay to have an addiction. I hope it is, because everybody has an addictive personality. But it's just a matter of, like, what are you doing with that? You know, what are you doing to feed that addictive personality? And I like the idea of feeding it with discipline and eating the right foods and drinking a gallon of water a day and things like that. So from the outside in, if somebody's not doing those things, they would look at that and say, that's a little obsessive. You know, you might want to settle down there, which is what we've been taught our whole life. But the person that looks at the person that's like really going after their health and their dreams and things like that, the only reason they perceive that is because it's not what they do, right? So if anybody actually looks inward, they'll see that they have some, you know, good and bad habits, but they also exhibit an addictive personality. So everybody is allowed to be addicted to something, by the way. My only contention is I think it's a good idea to pick an addiction that actually serves you and serves your dreams. So just another side note, I just started talking. I'll give a shout out to one of the coaches that I mentor, but she's actually helping me, Liliana, because I've made this, I'm in great shape right now, but I want to take it to the next level where I'm going to integrate a little bit of getting coached from somebody that really knows what they're doing. And Liliana is, she's got a black belt in bodybuilding and stuff like that. So I'm gonna go after the abs now. Like I want to get shredded, and it's probably I'm gonna go all the way through January. But I'm gonna step away from the herd, right? I'm gonna step away from the what everybody else is gonna do. And I've been trying to speak to people and just wake them up, because they're entering this November and December, and you might hear this right now, this November and December time where they don't even know, the powers are so big, and the voices and the smells and the emotions of holiday and everything is really starting to move people into this program that they can't see right now as the same program that they ran last year, the year before. And they kind of like give themselves grace to kind of like take it easy over the next 2 months. And then they start to, run this program that January they will fix it. right? January is, it's funny. It's like this time, this cadence of the year, kind of like the tides, we just start getting ready for the same thing. So I'm gonna do some pattern disruption there, and I'm inviting you to think about this right now. If you know that statistics, obesity, depression, all these statistics come from the herd, right? So doesn't it make sense right now to evaluate the herd mentality and the actions of the herd and just do something different? So that's one thing. That's one insight for you. Let's just do everything different than we've done, and then we can start to step into this realm of expecting different results. Boom, right? So my focus today, and by the way, also, and I'll announce it later, last night was a very big night because last night I actually asked and chose my best man for my wedding. So I'll make some sort of a fun post, but I called him up last night, and it was awesome. It's only one person in the world that I would ask to be my best man, and I asked him last night. It was cool because he's never been a best man in a wedding. So anyway, Dragon has a best man for his wedding, and he said yes. And that's the wedding in Cape Town. So anyway, what I've been talking to people about right now, first of all, this is coming to you at the time of the 13th of November. So what's interesting about the mid-month, especially in November, is, whether it's a business goal or a health goal, people start to kind of question themselves and things like that. So what I've been talking to people about is, anytime somebody comes to me and feels self-doubt and, starts to feel self-defeated and things like that, they start to get down on themselves and they move into what's called the drama triangle. They start to play the role of the victim. They'll do a little bit of blaming and things like that. So typically what I do is I just listen to you, hear you out and get you and say, yeah, I understand, practice a little empathy. And then I typically ask people, this might be a little exercise if you're feeling that way. Ask yourself, is your story that you're running about why you're feeling that way, is that the real story? Or do you need to just look at everything that's going on and all of a sudden say, hey, you know what? It's been a tough couple of days or a tough week or a tough month, and I've got a lot of emotional stuff going on. That I can't avoid because it could be family relationships, or maybe you're missing a loved one, or maybe there's financial stress and things like that. I mean, you can do things about all them. But first step is really, really get comfortable and acknowledge what's really going on. Check the facts. And all you got to do that is just identify, okay, I'm blaming this and I'm saying this is my problem, but that's not going to go anywhere. Just take a look around everything and just say, what's really going on. So that's the first thing. And then when it comes to this idea of those of you that are running on program, because it's decision time, it's decision time for me every day, but midway through the month, like I'm thinking business goals, health goals, mental goals, and everything like that. It's time for me to acknowledge that even though I've been perfect in having this streak, I gotta up my game even more, because even doing what I'm doing, if I get comfortable like this, I don't do well when I'm comfortable. I always have to push a little bit, right? And there's a little bit of obsessive behavior there. But to those of you that are doing really good on program and running with us, and by the way, you can start today, just be careful that you don't get comfortable in that environment, because when we get comfortable, we start to exhibit bad behavior sometimes. So today, that's why I reached out to Liliana, and I'm going to step up the abs and stuff. So I'm pushing myself a little bit. So there's a little bit of note. But for those of you that are getting a little bit of lost and a little bit of self-doubt and stuff like that, I just want you to recognize that in that moment that you're feeling that way, most likely all that's really happened, even if there's a lot of stuff going on, is you've just lost sight of what it is that you're going for, the prize, right? The visual. Remember, we keep talking about that future state that you're moving towards, of being in the greatest shape of your life, having financial freedom, relationships are good and everything. You need to just get rid of everything behind you in your mind and just look at that place. Dream a little. Cut the string from everything and just dream, dream, dream to the point where you can actually smile and feel it and say, and feel the value of it, right? So you're with me? So in that moment that you have self-doubt, you know what's happened is you've lost sight of that. You've taken your eyes off the prize and you're starting to look back a little bit. You're starting to look at your current reality and your past, right? So once you get sight of that again, it's not like all of a sudden everything gets fixed, but you regain direction, and you see it again. Oh, that's right. That's where I'm going. That's why I'm doing that. And it's connected to my family and all that stuff. And then all you have to do, as I said the other day, is just have to act the part. So my last and final thing in my Rise Up today is I just want to invite you, almost like you're up in an airplane and you have to throw unwanted weight out. I'm going to suggest, and I'm going to encourage you to get rid of all dead weight. Get rid of anything that doesn't serve that dream, right? And that's why it's got to be a big dream. You got to look at something like where I'm going with my goals. I'm so excited, and they go 30 to 60 days, 90 days, 1 year, 5 years, right? It's so compelling that I'm willing to start acknowledging all of the things and people, right, and concepts that have nothing to do with it. So I'm getting rid of relationships that don't support me. I'm getting rid of ideas. I'm getting rid of dead time. I'm not watching TV. I'm just getting rid of anything, any thoughts, feelings, and actions and people that don't serve me. So that's the idea of today, is just really let's look at all the dead weight in our life that we're tolerating. Maybe build a tolerance list of the things that you're tolerating and things that you don't need to, and just chuck it all off the plane. And you can be nice. If somebody comes up to you and they're giving you a little bit of shit, and it doesn't serve you, you don't have to put up with that, right? So you can just simply say thanks, but no thanks, right? If somebody or something happens to you on a daily basis that bums you out, right? You don't have to blame it for your mood, but you also don't have to absorb it, right? Most of the time our perception of things is what screws us up. So let's get rid of dead weight today. Let's really keep our eye on the prize and see the value and live in that and act the part, lead from the future, act in the now. And in the now, most of the things that we're putting up with, they don't serve us in our future state. So get rid of it. Let's chuck the dead weight. Let's just get rid of everything and fill your day up with thoughts, feelings, and actions that are in full support, and people that are in full support of where you want to go. And guess what? That's the super highway there. That's how you get there. Love and appreciate you. Have a wonderful day.